it sounded like a person was walking in the woods. Here's what basically just made me decide, okay, I'm in danger, I need to get out of here. What's going on, guys? I'm going to explain to you my most terrifying Disney experience. This was right after I filmed Discovery Island. I was trying to refilm Disney's water park, River Country. Basically, I tried to film it in 4K and I ran into somebody in the woods with me that night, so I'm going to explain exactly how that happened to me. If you like these Disney videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Let's get into this. Alright, so I was trying to refilm River Country in 4K, and basically I paid my buddy $200 to take me to Orlando. So we pulled up at around 4:30 in the morning, and I got dropped off on this trail. Basically, it's a trail that if you follow it, it takes you into Fort Wilderness without having to go through any security checkpoints. So it was a secret trail, now it's not a secret trail. Basically, I'm walking down this trail. I've got the whole setup. I've got the gimbal, the camera set up on the gimbal, and I'm basically terrified because it's super dark. I'm all alone. I'm walking along the water, and by the time I got into Fort Wilderness, the end of that trail is basically the campground with the bus loop where you can like set up your tent. There was nobody in the parking lot there, that gravel parking lot. There was nobody at all. So I walk in, it's still dark out. I walk to the end of this road, that basically the intersection that if you were to make a right, you would be going to Mickey's Backyard Barbecue. So instead of making a right on this road, I go straight into the woods. So to the right of me is the employee parking lot of Mickey's Backyard Barbecue. So I'm walking through the woods and I'm maneuvering through the overgrowth, and I'm walking along this tree that has fallen. So mind you, I'm wearing sandals because I'm an idiot and forgot to get tennis shoes. I was basically supposed to buy some, but we ran out of time. But anyways, so I step off of this tree, and what I step into is just water. So my foot goes directly down. I guess it was like mud, but it was like a hole that I stepped in. So basically my foot went straight through. And like I have the gimbal in one hand and I'm like drastically trying not to get it wet. So basically when I step in, it went down to like almost my knee. So I like fall down, I'm like holding the gimbal up into the air, and I step out of that, and my sandal got stuck in that hole that my foot went in. So I was like, well, now I only have one sandal, I might as well ditch the other one. Basically those woods back there, when we went to go film Discovery Island, it was fine. We walked right through it. It was dry, for that matter. So when we came back, it was flooded. It had been raining for a few days, or a few weeks actually. So most of the water is about ankle deep, but it's all just brown like swamp that's been sitting there. So I'm like slowly trying to walk through it. I'm barefoot, so I like feeling everything underneath my feet, and it's just, I was terrified. Like I was so scared that I didn't care if I got caught anymore. Like I pulled out my phone light, and I don't know, maybe somebody saw me from the parking lot, I'm not sure, but at that point I'm just like slowly walking through the swamp, and there's like pieces of like tree trunk kind of that are just floating in the water. So I'm like tapping it kind of to make sure it's not an alligator. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is terrifying. So basically the trees back there, the big ones, there's like clusters of roots around the base of the tree. So that's like the only thing that's not submerged at this point. So I'm like slowly working my way through this swamp, climb up onto these like root clusters, and then freaking get down and climb up onto another one. By the time I finally got out of this like swampy area, I basically got onto this road that goes along Bay Lake, and this is where things got really creepy. So I already lost my sandals. I was super terrified. I was just happy to get out of that swamp, to be honest, because there could have been snakes in there, could have been gators hanging out. Like, it was terrifying. So when I got out of there, I was barefoot at this point, so every step I take is a lot quieter. There's a dirt road that goes along Bay Lake that leads to the back, like, gravel cul-de-sac behind River Country, the water park. I'm walking along this dirt road. Mind you, in between Bay Lake and this dirt road, there's like a patch of woods that goes along the road, probably about the width of this boardwalk. So I'm walking and something told me, I was like, you know what? Let me turn off the gimbal because it's like emitting a little bit of a light. So I turn off the gimbal and I'm walking, and next thing you know, I hear something moving in the patch of woods in between the lake and this dirt road that I'm on. It was moving, but as soon as I walked up onto it, it stopped moving. So I stopped moving. And my eyes weren't fully adjusted yet because I was using my phone light to get out of the swamp area. So basically, I took a knee. So I sat there and I took a knee and I just waited. And I waited about 2 minutes and I started hearing it moving again. And what threw me off was, I mean, I'd like to think I know what a raccoon or possum or like a smaller animal sounds like scurrying through the bushes. You can kind of hear it working its way through the bushes, but like whatever this was, I could really hear the weight. I could hear it sounded like a boot stepping on the ground. With every step it took, it sounded like you could hear the first part of the foot and it like rolled onto it. Like you can literally hear it sounded like a person was walking in the woods. Here's what basically just made me decide, okay, I'm in danger, I need to get out of here. I'm looking through this patch of, basically the patch of woods, I can barely see through to Bay Lake. There was like one little patch, an opening where I can see the reflection of the moon off of Bay Lake. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna see like maybe the top of a deer's head, like the ears or something. I'm gonna see something that tells me it's an animal. When this thing passed by the gap, the entire gap was completely covered up. I could no longer see Bay Lake whatsoever. Mind you, this gap is about this high off the ground, roughly this size. So like whatever it was just as tall as me, if not taller. I don't know. At that point, my heart literally dropped. I was so scared, and I was like, I never bail on a Disney video, but something was telling me that I was in danger. Like this was a really bad idea. It kind of stepped in front of the gap, stood there, swayed back for a second, and then it kept moving, took another step. And when I saw that, I was like, what the heck? Like I got so spooked that I waited like another minute. I was still on my knee, and then I backpedaled like 10 feet, took another knee, sat there and I waited, and another like 2-3 minutes passed by, and it was just slowly creeping. You can hear the weight of each step, and at that point I was like, something is very wrong here. This is not right. So I just turned around and just bolted and ran back to where I came. I didn't go through the swamp again. I was like, I don't care if I get caught, I'm not going through that swamp, and I'm not gonna deal with whatever the hell is standing 6 feet tall in the woods behind river country. I made it back to the road. I ran back to the entrance of my little, what Chris calls it, the goat trail. Here's what was weird too. There was a car parked in the gravel parking lot. So there's basically that campground with the bus loop, and then there's a gravel parking lot. There was a car parked, literally the front of the car was directly facing towards the trail that I came from. And the sun was just coming up at this point. So I was literally running, and I seen the car, and I just didn't look back. I literally jumped over the fence to the trail, ran down the trail, followed it along the canal, made a left, followed that canal all the way down, and had my friend pick me back up. But if you guys have any idea what that could have been, comment down below. Let me know what you think it was. I mean, I've told several people this, and nobody's been able to give me an actual accurate idea of what that could have been. If you guys enjoy these Disney videos, definitely let me know by liking the video. Subscribe if you're not already, turn on the notification bell. I've got other Disney stories, but I mean, I don't really like telling them for various reasons, and a lot of people are like, oh, you're lying, which is like, I mean, I gotta have a pretty good imagination to come up with this shit. But anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more Disney videos, urban exploring, stories, all types of shit. Until next time, peace.